So you're aware that you have angels and guides. You're aware that you can ask them for support, that they're here in this life to guide you, to be there for you. But maybe you're wondering, like, where are you guys? You know, I've been calling about this thing for a while now, and, you know, that kind of thing. And so there's a certain way that we can communicate with them. And once we get that down, they can be there for us in like miraculous ways, not just showing us, you know, 111, 222 and like that kind of stuff, but they can actually like help us with our co-creation of life, our co-creation with ourself and with source energy. And they're here to assist in that process in any way that we allow them to. And so, hi, I'm Araya. I'm here with Arlo. Arlo has been acting up a bit. I've tried recording this a few times, and he's like, how about I lick you to death? How about I jump on you instead? So he's trying to keep the mood up high, which I appreciate him for. We're sitting here in my van in Spain right now, and we're headed to France in like an hour. And I'm gonna go to a place that I'm staying in France and hopefully finish building the rest of the van and making it my own. I bought it with the conversion already, and so I have all these extra cushions in order to build a second pull-out bed and stuff like that. So that's what you're looking at right now. And so this message was coming through today because I was communicating with my angels and guides, and I was like, okay, like, I haven't given you permission in a while. And so that's the key right there. And that's really what this message is all about, is you have to give your angels and guides permission to step in. Like, they can't just like step in and change things for you and change what you've chosen with your free will as your soul's experience here on earth. And so when you grant permission and you say like, okay, I give you permission to step in and assist me in whatever it is, then they can. And so like, for example, if you're calling in more abundance, and so you go, thank you, angels and guides, I give you permission to step in any way that is for the highest good in order to bring me abundance in this amount through this form or whatever, or like just not having any attachment to how it comes, but maybe it's a specific amount, and also not putting a timeline on it because that also creates like more attachment to it. So just letting go and letting their magic surprise you. So you can say, I give you permission for stepping in and giving me this amount of money, and I allow it to come in a way that surprises me and that brings me joy, and that, you know, whatever, like you can make it like that. But I just would say, don't put a time limit on it, and like don't put too many conditions on it, and just give them permission and then let it go and say thank you, and so it is. And so that's it. It's like knowing that it's not like asking, it's saying thank you, and it's giving them permission. And so in that, then we can like let go, and we can also then ask for signs. So I think Joe Dispenza, one of his meditations does this. The book, Gabrielle Bernstein, what is it called? It's like a pink cover. Oh, I forget what it's called. One of her newer books. I read it a few years ago. So it's like at least 3 or 4 years old, but also in her book. So they say, when you ask for something, and ask as in saying thank you for it, then that's not what they say in there, but they say ask for a sign after that they have received your message. And so you can go and say like, thank you, and if you have received my message in the next 24 hours, can you please. And so Gabrielle Bernstein does say, and Joe Dispenza does say, a time limit on this too. So just feel into it. Like, do you feel good about putting a time limit on it or not? Sometimes that can, like I was saying, create too much resistance on the whole experience. And so you just want to like make sure there's no attachment, no resistance, and that's gonna like let everything come in more rapido. But it's like when you have attachment, then you're putting it outside of yourself, if that makes sense. And so you're pushing it away from yourself. And so even though you're giving them permission, you're like moving to the timeline where it's not possible for you to receive that thing. So that's what I mean by not creating attachment. But so if you're following this and it feels okay, and you say within 24 hours, then you say ask for a sign, and you can choose the sign, like whatever comes to mind. So like right now, a walrus is coming to mind. I've never had a walrus come to mind for a sign before. So it'd be like, thank you, angels and guides, for giving me a sign of a walrus in the next 24 hours if you received my message and my permission to assist me in bringing abundance. And so then you can like create a whole other thing. Oh, I need to like brush this. And so then you can create a whole other experience with them. And then you start to learn the language of your angels and guides and of your soul, and how you can have this like really wonderful, mystical, magical experience here on earth. The biggest thing that's causing this suffering, this perceived suffering, I would say, is this belief of separation. Like, we're so conditioned to think that we're like all alone, that we're all alone, and that we have to go do things that we don't want to do, and that no one's gonna save us, no one's gonna help us, like we're just like doomed, you know. And then the situation just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and then we're focusing on it getting worse and worse and worse and harder and harder and harder, and then we're forgetting how magical it is. We're forgetting that we have angels and guides that are here to support us in every way possible if we give them permission, and if we allow the experience to be without attachment. Then like we can get out of any situation that we're in. You know, nothing's real. This isn't real. This isn't real. This experience, this perceived reality, what I know to be true, what I know to be real, is the one infiniteness that we all are, this one consciousness, this unconditional love, this infinite abundance. And we came to earth with the agreement to forget that, to experience this human experience, and to go through the process of remembering. I think that the root of all of this is remembering. And then also we chose this specific time to come onto Earth because Earth is transitioning into a whole new density dimension. And so we're assisting with that new consciousness, but we're also having our own experience as well. And so in our own experience, what is it? It's remembering the truth of who we are, bringing that through whatever our soul chose for us to do, whatever you're going through, whatever perceived hardships and lack and not worthiness and, you know, pain, all those things, there's a way through. If it's a physical condition, you think of Joe Dispenza. He meditated and visualized his spine. It was broken. He visualized it until it was perfectly back into alignment, and he no longer needed his surgery. Right? My mom is an energy healer, and she has had very similar results with so many people, because it is like, it is magic. Like, you can allow it to be what you want it to be when you let go of your conditioning and your beliefs telling you that it can't be a certain way, right? And so people, like the people that I don't really have people in my life like this anymore, but people before who would be in my life, like, no, like, you gotta be more realistic, that's not real, this is all woo woo. Okay, someone commented yesterday and said, this is demonic. It's called manifestation and divination. And I'm like, yes, we're talking about manifestation. There's nothing demonic about that. Everything is a manifestation. Like, this leash is a manifestation. Like, everything is creation. Everything is creation. And you get to choose if you want to tap into that process and co-create with it. And so it's a beautiful thing. It's not demonic. You're working with Source, God, whatever you want to call it, and understanding that you are part of that. I think that, like, my personal issue with the Bible is that I opened the page because I was in my past life, not past life, but like less than a year ago, like 6 months ago or whenever, before I came here to Europe, I was surrounded by a lot of Christian people, such amazing people, such wonderful, loving people. I love them so much. many of them were trying to get me to read the Bible. And so I was like, all right, like I went to Catholic school. It's not foreign to me. I've already gone down this path. Like I get it, but let me just open the Bible, read it, what's going on in here. And just the verbiage, like I forget what I read, but it was like, thou shalt not. And it was just separateness. It was like making the reader feel like this power, God, source, is outside of them and like telling them what to do and like otherwise you're doomed kind of thing. And it's like, that's not what I know to be true. Like what I know is that God is love and that I am part of God and that inside of me, inside of all my cells is this like infiniteness down to God. Outside of me is like, you know, we're a certain percentage of water, and then you think about how much percentage of water there is on Earth. Oops. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I'm having phone trouble, so I don't understand. I have iCloud for the 2 terabyte, and somehow my phone keeps filling up with storage. So I need to go to an Apple store, but it's a little tricky finding one here on the road in Europe. So eventually I'll find one. And so what I was saying, I'll just wrap it up, is that God is within, God is without. Infinite, infinite, infinite. We're one. We're all one. I am a reflection of your consciousness. You are a reflection of my consciousness. Every comment that I receive on here is a reflection of like what's going on within my subconscious, within my field, good or bad. And like the comments, like if they're like more of a negative comment, then it's bringing up something that I get to then respond to within my being. Like, okay, someone says something like, oh, you're demonic. And then I get to have the experience of not taking anything personally, because like when we look at like the 4 agreements, for example, like never take anything personally. Nothing is ever personal. It's their own experience. And so then I just get to be aware of what's coming up within my own being. Like, am I insulted, triggered? And then I can like work through that. Like, where does that come from? But in that experience, I was like, no, I know this isn't demonic. I know this is quite the opposite. And I've felt that way about other teachings, that like there are more service to self type energies in other teachings. And so I'll leave it at that. And so I'm so excited. Yesterday, number one, I'm feeling a lot better today. a lot better. I have had this weird cold for the past like week, and so I missed a day, I think just a day uploading, and I've been a little bit more quiet in my responses and stuff just because I not only was sick, but my van wouldn't start and I had to get towed, and just like being in another country and like not really speaking Spanish, and then my insurance stuff is through France, and it was just like all this chaos. But in it, there was also so much alignment, and like the right people came to help. And then I was being guided to more conscious rest, which we talked about yesterday in the video, because like of the sickness. So, you know, my sickness was a way to get me to consciously rest, to receive the download that I wanted to start offering one-on-ones again with people. And this time around that I'm doing it, before I was doing it in like the health and nutrition space, because I'm a certified health coach, nutritionist, and so I used to only really work in that space. And then more so in the past year, I've been showing up here, obviously talking more about spirituality and different ways of neuroplasticity and retraining the brain, and just general ways that we can expand our consciousness and have everything that we want in life and remember the truth of who we are. And so the 2 offers that I decided to put up are one-on-one working with me in like health, spiritual, life coaching. Like if you watch my videos and something comes up and you want to go deeper into it, we can do that in that session. And then the other session that I'm now offering is one that's so exciting. It's get to know your divine team. So you can get to know your angels and guides with me, assisting you through a process that I would do, and like how I learned to identify my angels and guides. So when I go into my space to call them forward. It's like now I know each one of them. Maybe there's more, but now I know each one of them, and I can say like, who wants to come forward today? And one of them will come forward today, and then they'll deliver a message. And so my downloads and like the way that I'm expanding right now is mostly within here and with them assisting me. And I think it's a beautiful experience too, to like go online and find assistance there and find like different YouTube videos and podcasts and things like that to help you in your path. But when you can figure out how to really communicate with your divine team, it's a completely different experience. It's such a soul aligned experience. And so one of my angels and guides told me to specifically offer this one. I did this with one of my best friends. I talked about this yesterday. And when I was in Texas visiting her, and we actually had done something on the phone first. I think we had done like a clearing of her house because it was haunted, or like she was having kind of interesting experiences in this house that she was living in. And so we helped the spirit like go into the light, and then after that like the thing went away, but she also had all these gifts starting to open up. She was getting a lot of visuals and all these things. And so then when I was visiting her in Texas, in Austin, we did this process of like bringing forward her angels and guides so that she could meet them. She's like very new to this world because she's Catholic and everything. And so when she called forward her divine team, or some of her angels and guides, were like in this beautiful meditation, and she literally screamed because she saw them for the first time. And so it was like one of those experiences like, what? Like, this is here, this is waiting for me. I have angels and guides who love me, who want to support me and guide me in any way possible. They've been assigned to me for this life. I am that worthy, I am that lovable, that I have that. Like, it's such a beautiful experience. And so I want to assist you in that, and to finding your divine team and finding that communication and connection, so that you can have that place to go to for the rest of your life, so that anytime you're going through something and moving through something, you can lean into them and say like, I give you permission for this, or like, do you have any messages about this? And like, you can literally just have such a magical experience here on earth. So if any of those two appointments, sessions sounds appealing, please go ahead and click one of the links in the description here. And I only opened a few spots, and so they're in April right now, a few weeks in April, and so some of you already booked yesterday, which is so exciting, and I can't wait to start that out and see how it goes and build from there, and then maybe open up more time slots from there, and we'll see how that all goes. So if that's of interest, go ahead and book that, and then I will see you in tomorrow's video, and we will be in France. I'm learning how to speak French. I'm not good at it yet, but I'm becoming a resident of France, and so I figured I should learn French. I also really liked the French part of Switzerland, so depending where I live, okay, I'll leave you in a second. I also really miss California, like really miss California. I was so sure that like I would come here to Europe and do this and like find my place to call home, but I just feel like I belong. Like my language, the culture, the land, my friends, my family, like I love California, and I really miss it. I'm not ready to go back yet. I have so many plans for the next year to do like a grand tour of Italy. No, not Italy, Europe. I'm going to France in March, all of March. My mom will be here. Then Italy for April, and then May I'll be in Austria with a friend that's visiting, and Switzerland, and then I hope to go up through Germany up to Norway, and then come down to Denmark, Netherlands, go to Ireland for at least a month. I'll actually have to be in Ireland for a while because I have to get an Irish driver's license if I'm going to stay here, because it's in English, and I don't want to do the whole French one. It just has to be European, and my family's from Ireland, my dad's from Ireland. Go spend some time in Ireland, do the Wild Atlantic Way, maybe do the UK, and then come back down to France, and then go through Spain, and maybe spend the winter in Portugal. We'll see. But at that point, after that, if I'm still feeling this way, like I give myself permission to go back home, one of my messages that was coming through with my angels and guides in the very beginning of moving here and connecting with them was there's no place like home. It was follow the yellow brick road, and then there's no place like home. So I'm still trying to figure out that little riddle. My angels and guides like to do riddles with me. So I don't know if it's like there's no place like home as in like the one infinite creator that's like our home like within us, or if it's like at the end of this like you're gonna want to go home to your home. So non-attachment, allowing it to be as it will be. And that is the message. That is all I have for you today. I will see you in tomorrow's video. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new here, and leave a comment if you feel called to do so. We will see you later. Say bye. Bye.